Oh my god. But like, that was unbelievable, right? Oh my god, 100%. I want that tomorrow and Wednesday. Hi, I'm Weston. I love talking about the Astros, and I'm here to talk about game 101 of the regular season where the Astros win 10-9 over the Texas Rangers in the first game of the three-game home set against the Texas Rangers, shrinking their division lead to but 2 games in the game of the season for the Houston Astros. Just, oh my god, what an evening of baseball we were treated to. Before people have sat down, before people have finished ordering their drink for the night, the Rangers are up to nothing. Nathaniel Lowe walks, and then Josh Jung, the fourth batter into the game, homers. The Rangers have a 2-0 lead. And the Astros, in the bottom half, I can only imagine, said, hold my Tito's. Mauricio Dubon and Alex Bregman both single, then Kyle Tucker draws a walk, and in a blink, the Astros go from facing a multi-run deficit and having to already kind of claw themselves out of a hole to the go-ahead run is on first, there are no outs. That fast. Jose Abreu draws a walk, a run is home, it's 2-1, and then Chas McCormick, who, legacy game, unbelievable night for Chas McCormick. Deep, deep, deep double, a home run in like 25 stadiums, just barely missed getting it out, but by God did he more than make up for not quite getting it out in this inning later on in this game. The Astros take a lead, still with no outs. It is 3-2, and they continue on with that because Jeremy Pena, it's a ground out, but it's an effective one. A run comes home. The Astros now take a 4-2 lead, and within like 10 minutes real time, not even game time, real time, the Astros go from trailing by multiple runs to leading by multiple runs. That fast. But this game was not to be a straight line. It was a pendulum. And as it leans to favor one side, it comes back to lean and favor the other because the Rangers in the top of the second come right back. You have a walk to Brad Miller and then a walk to Letty Tavares and then a fielding error by Abreu just can't quite rein it in. A run comes home and it's 4-3. A couple batters later, Janikowski with a single to tie the game up at 4 apiece, and then Nathaniel Lowe with a single to make it 5-4 Rangers. And all of a sudden, a multi-run lead for the Rangers became a multi-run lead for the Astros, became a 1-run lead for the Rangers in 1 full inning and 1 top of an inning. My God. It's quiet for a brief, fleeting moment, but then in the 4th inning, Josh Smith, who sounds like the name on a fake ID, homers to restore a multi-run lead for the Rangers. Eventually, it rolls around to the 5th inning, and then I can only imagine that someone in the Astros dugout yelled out, "Hey, fellas, what if we did the 1st inning again?" Because just like the 1st inning, single walk, this time it was Bregman, Tucker, and Abreu, but regardless, bases are loaded with no outs, and then Kyle Tucker and Yanner Diaz with back-to-back sac flies. Would you like a little bit more than 2 runs with bases loaded, no outs? Probably, but golly, it's going to be really hard for me to complain about 2 runs in an inning to retie a game. Then the 7th inning came, and you could taste a bit of saltiness in the air. You could feel a warm breeze, and you knew deep inside that the game was about to jump the shark. The Astros do the right thing. They do the smart thing. They bring in Phil Maton, good reliever, having a very great season, completely implodes in on himself. The Rangers say, hey, we saw you load the bases with no outs twice. We can do that as well. You had Janikowski with a single, Lowe with another walk, Jung with a single, all of a sudden bases loaded, and then they again, taking one out of the Astros handbook. Walk by Jonah Heim with the bases loaded. It is 7-6 Rangers. The Astros pull the plug on Maton. They bring in Stenik. And it's so hard to go over Stenik's night because there was nothing wrong with it. What was wrong was the context in which he had it. Fly out, walk, fly out in a clean inning where you enter and you are the first pitcher to throw a pitch in that inning is nothing. Absolutely nothing. It's fine. It's perfect. It's a very simple inning with little to be concerned about. But when the bases are loaded with no outs, that's 2 runs for the other team. In this case, it was. The Rangers take an 8-6 and then 9-6 lead off of a Mitch Garver walk and then a Letty Tavares sac fly. So now you're down 3. The Astros staring down a very, very, very good back end of the bullpen for the Texas Rangers. Gonna have to find a way to make up. And now the Astros face a 3-run deficit at the back end of a very, very, very good Rangers bullpen, and they were unbothered. Bregman strikes out, but Tucker and Abreu both draw walks, and Chas McCormick steps up to the plate as the game-tying run. And there is just so much to love here. There is the fact that it was Aroldis Chapman throwing a high slider, continuing to not learn his lesson. There is the fact that it was an incredibly clutch home run from Chas McCormick, who is finally starting to get the recognition that he is kind of long since deserved, not just from the Astros fans themselves, but kind of creeping up on a national scale, because all of a sudden, hey, this random outfielder from Houston has a near 900 OPS and is really, really freaking good defensively, which, well overdue, by the way, but, you know, nice to, better late than never for old Chazzy Fizz over there. And then there's just the beauty of the call itself, because you got to watch Todd Callis in real time go from home run, double, home run, complete and utter bewilderment. Huh? And then Jeff Blum, who sits in dead silence for like 20 seconds and then just screams, "Mother Meatloaf!" And then Jeff Blum, who just fully embraces being an agent of chaos when Todd Callis mentioning that Aroldis Chapman had had some trouble in Minute Maid Park before, asking when. Give me the dates. Then you enter the 8th. Brian Abreu comes in, gives up a leadoff single to Marcus Semien. That isn't good. And then Travis Janikowski lines one into a gap. And you think, 100% it's going to be extra bases. The Rangers might retake a lead. Chas McCormick, on his horse, juiced out of his mind coming out of the 7th inning, just doesn't even have to make a diving jump for the ball. Doesn't even have to lay out for it. A running catch. But boy, just watching that play in real time, it cannot do it justice. He covered so much ground to get over there. That should have been extra bases. That should have been down. But just Chas flying over makes it look easy. And then Abreu picking up his outfielder who picked him up, strikes out Nathaniel Lowe and Josh Jung, hyped up about it in the process, and gets through his inning. Presley gets through his inning of work in the 9th relatively easily, and the Astros in the bottom half of the 9th. To me, it was no longer a question of if the Astros were going to win the game. It was a matter of who was going to win the game on the Astros. I thought it might have been McCormick to conclude just a magnificent, magical evening. Maybe it was going to be Abreu with a statement to fully prove his resurgence. It ended up being Yainer Diaz. Kyle Tucker on second after drawing a walk, and then McCormick drew a walk to push him over there. Yainer with a little bloop single over into right field. Tucker came all the way around to score, racing pretty hard. Good job by Tucker there getting home. Nice job by Yainer putting it in play. He's had some big spots before and has kind of gotten in his own head and ended up striking out in those instances. It was great to see a little bit of development for him there, and the Astros win a bonkers 10-9 game in the bottom half of the 9th. The takeaways that I get from this game: at any given moment, at the drop of a hat, the Astros can be that team that has haunted your nightmares for the past 6 years for any team in the American League. They are still that boogeyman that comes for them. And I can confidently say that for the past few years, baseball fans, Astros fans, and Rangers fans have been robbed of this rivalry, because by God, this is the first time since the Astros came back over to the American League, aside from maybe 2015, but even then, the Astros were still very young in becoming a good team, and the Rangers were kind of coming down from being a good team, and so they were both just kind of mediocre to slightly above average in 2015 for that brief convergence. This is the first time since they've come over to the American League where the Astros and Rangers have both been genuinely great simultaneously, and oh by God, is it fun to watch. We have been robbed of this blood feud, this rivalry of genuine classic games for the past few years, and I hope beyond hope that tomorrow and Wednesday we are treated to more of this, because what an evening of baseball it was for all of us to enjoy. And that leads me into tomorrow. The Astros look for the series win and the ability to cut the division lead to but one game. 8:10 Eastern, 7:10 Central. The Astros send JP France to the mound. The Rangers have not yet announced their starter. I'll be here afterwards to talk about it, but as for right now, that is all I have to say about this unbelievable game. If you enjoyed the video, please consider to like and subscribe. Thank you all so very much for watching. I hope you all have an absolutely fantastic day, and as always, go Stros.